Hi guys, Chick here with episode 14 of the 77-day video challenge. We're going to pick up today with our story, and it is now 1996. Our son Manley is a junior in high school. Our daughter has just begun middle school. Jackie and I have both progressed steadily in our jobs. She's now at the highest rank you can reach in her company without being an owner, and I am doing almost as well at my job. We're making good money. The only problem is that those happy-go-lucky guys from 1980 are now stressed out uh, participants in the rat race. And the harder we work to pay all of our bills, the more stressed we become. The more stressed we become, the more we dabble. As a matter of fact, at this point, we've doubled the dabble. So now we're doing quite a bit more recreational drugs than we were doing before. They're reaching the point where they're not just recreational anymore, they're operational. It's kind of, we need them to function. And early in October, or maybe late September, one of the social clubs that my wife belongs to is having a big costume party, Halloween party, and we go. We leave on Friday night, and we return on Sunday early evening. Needless to say, things have gotten a little out of hand. Um, that Monday, I get up and I go to work, but because of Jackie's position, she's able to call in sick and stay home that day. And that afternoon, our daughter comes home from school and reminds Jackie that we had promised to take them, my kids, and my mother to a concert. But it's not just any concert, it's a Christian concert. So when I get home from work that evening, Jackie reminds me, and of course, my response to her is, listen, I worked all day. A man doesn't miss work. I had to get up and go to work. You've been laying around here all day. I'm not going. You go and have a good time. Um, they leave and they go to the concert, and I pass out. Um, Later that evening, when they get back from the concert, Jackie tries to wake me up, and she says, "Baby, something happened at that concert." And my response is, "Yeah, something happened. It's called withdrawal." I turn around and I go back to sleep or pass out, and everything's right in my world. Uh, I get up the next morning, jump up, take my shower, get dressed, drink my coffee, go to work. I'm at work, get my crews all out on their jobs. I had to be at work for like 8. About 10 o'clock, my phone rings, and it's Jackie, and she says, "You have to come home. We've got to talk." So I get everybody settled. I go home, and she says, what every man in the world dreads hearing from their spouse: sit down. We have to have a talk. So I sit down, and she tells me that while at this concert, she answered an altar call, and God told her we couldn't go on living this way. At this point, even though we've been making good money, we're probably spending more than we make. And she tells me that she's been borrowing some money from work to pay the bills, and that she's going to go in and confess, and she will probably be fired. And I'm like, baby, you've been there for 15 years. You just about run the company. They're not going to fire you. I mean, after all, you're my wife. They can't fire you. So she goes, and sure enough, they fire her on the spot. And within about 10 days of that, she goes off into rehab, leaving me in quite a quandary. One day I am sworn off of any drinking or alcohol, and the next day I'm doubling the double on the dabble. I'm just trying to get as numb as I can possibly be. People are asking me questions I don't have answers to, and I am just one miserable individual. But about 2 weeks after she goes into rehab, they call us and they tell us to come up for a family day. And we're driving up there because, being the magnanimous individual I am, I'm going to go support my poor, weak-willed wife. But those quacks are not going to change me. So when we get there, they tell us that we're not going to be able to see the patients that day. We're going to be herded into a room with all the other families and significant others of the other people in the rehab. And I'm thinking to myself, well, that shouldn't be too bad. My daughter's with me. It's actually Halloween Day. And we go into this family rehab. And while we're in the middle of it, this really sneaky counselor named Stacy is talking. And she's asking us questions. And we're answering the questions. And then, at one point, I hear my voice saying, I'm Chick and I'm an alcoholic. Wait. This was not supposed to happen. They weren't going to change me. But I'm so grateful that they did. That evening, I drove my daughter back to the house so that she could go trick-or-treating with her friends and have it as normal as possible Halloween. And I had to go back up the next day. And on my way home, driving home, I decided, I was probably an addict too. And when I got home, I called a friend of mine that had been in recovery for about 8 years. And I told him what I'm telling you. I said, Steve, you're not going to believe this, but I'm an alcoholic and an addict. And dead silence for a minute. I heard the phone hit the floor. And a minute later, he picked the phone up laughing. And he said, for a pretty smart guy, it took you long enough to figure this out. That was the beginning of me beginning to investigate and examine my life. I am incredibly grateful for that day. And tomorrow we'll pick the story up when I go back up to the rehab to see Jackie for the next day. And at this point, let me just say that I'll see you tomorrow for episode 15, one day at a time.